Want to just start off by saying this. First and foremost, looking at the film, I thought there was a lot of good things that our team did. I thought we were in a good spot opening drive. We were very sharp, crisp. Really, second drive, we were in a good spot. We wound up, hitting that screen that got called back where, Jaden kind of, I guess his butt hit the ground while the ball was coming out. So, we're in a good spot there, good spot for most of the game, I thought. Defensively, I thought they came out, first drive, we had to figure out how often they were going to run the ball. And then I thought there was a really good stretch in the third quarter that our defense played really good. Schematically, we looked at a bunch of things. We're continuing to evolve, get to know our players, get to see what our young players can do. Without a doubt, we're playing a lot of young players. I think we had, a few hundred reps of true freshmen in the game, and it's pretty cool to see, and certainly trying to figure out exactly what they do best and put our guys in position there. And then, the last thing I would say without question is the environment was awesome. And it was a fun environment to coach in. It was a fun environment to, I'm sure, for our players to play in, and I thank our fans for that. If we can continue to build that out, it will be a very special, special place for us. So we've got a great challenge ahead of us this week, but I'll answer any questions about last week if you guys have them.
As far as Jaden running or not running on a handful of plays, when you looked at it on film from up top, did it feel the same? Did it feel like more so he should have run, less so?
No, he didn't run at all. He didn't scramble at all. So there would have been about 3 or 4 opportunities, I think, that if he just, what happens is he scrambles around so often and makes plays that all of a sudden it's like there's some times that it's okay to know when to say when, and also know when to use your feet to your advantage. The end of the half is a great example of know when to say when. Just throw it away. You've got a shot at the end zone. You've got a shot to 2 guys in the flat. You got 9 seconds and a timeout. You just got to know when to say when. You got plenty of time to do whatever you want other than take a sack. There was a couple third downs and that we could have scrambled forward, and we didn't. And we talked about it, and we'll get better there.
As you look at the tape and see how the offensive line performed, how do you evaluate that decision?
We didn't run the ball well enough, clearly. We were very disappointed in the fact that we couldn't get some of the runs off that we wanted to. The quarterback had, I think it was like 11 pressures out of the 50 pass attempts, which is really the same percentage that we had the week before, about 20%. But, it just didn't feel the same. We weren't in as good of a rhythm. So we'll just improve in all areas, coaching, playing, the whole thing.
How do you think that test will ultimately do for your offensive line?
I hope every day we get better. That is the plan. The plan for sure is that we take the last game and use it to our advantage. Losing gives you a lot of lessons, right? What do they say? You win or you learn. I think the fact of the matter is that it was a situation where we played against a good team and we played against a good defensive front. And we're a good team and we're a good offensive front, and we have to continue to improve and get better in that regard. Yeah, we were in a great situation on a 1st and 10 on the plus 28. We said that the first time we crossed the 30, after we scored the touchdown going fast, that we were going to get to that. That was the plan throughout the week. Had a great shot of hitting Jamari right up the A gap. Wound up, having a mental mistake up front and leaving the 3 technique. Should never have left the 3 technique, and I think Jamari probably would have had a great chance to hit his head on the goalpost there.
Was there something that you were seeing with the snap on offense where was it delayed? What was going on?
Yeah, no, I think what happened was there was a couple times that Josh was over the ball for a long time, and I think when that happens, sometimes your arm starts shaking a little bit, and you're up there for a bit of a while. The one that went over his head was after waiting on a TV timeout, and he was holding the ball for about, I think it was like 11 seconds before the ball got snapped. There was a couple other snaps that were just a little bit skewed. We just have to get better at that. We can't have snaps that can cause negative plays.
How does that throw off the timing of play? Is it that one little thing?
It can mess up a run because of how quickly you have to exchange the ball. Passes, I think for the most part, Jaden was able to handle any snap when it came down to the passing game. But in the running game, which is what the first, the one that was super high, the one that you're probably referring to that went from a 1st and 10 to a 2nd and 19, was certainly a situation where that was a run that was called, which then he had to cover it up.
What do you see at Colby K so far?
I think Colby's doing a nice job. Colby came in here as a safety and continuing to learn. We all have to remember, we say this upstairs on the 3rd floor, that we all have to remember that Colby's played linebacker 2 games of his life. And he's played a lot of reps, and he's played 2 very good football teams and has been challenged in a lot of regards, right? Running the football by San Diego State, the amount of different passes that Mississippi State presented, and now he's going to get challenged again for the 3rd time this week. Well, Jaden and I have been together all of 2 games. And as we're continuing to learn one another, we had many of conversations the week before as well. There's going to be times between every series that I'm going to talk to Jaden about what he likes, what he doesn't like, where he's comfortable. The defense that Mississippi State presents is an interesting challenge because of all the cloud coverages that they present and how they kind of, for lack of a better term, run an umbrella-like defense. So there's no real shots down the field based upon how they cloud the corners. So because of that, we had to talk about what intermediate routes we felt most comfortable with and at each possession, and then talk about, there's times that you get frustrated. I mean, it's 25-17, you're driving down, you have a 65-yard drive, and you're on the 30-yard line going in, and ball gets tipped up in the air and picked. How do you handle that? How do you come back on, now it's 32-17? Or how do you handle 3 possessions in a row where we didn't get point or we got a field goal only. So we just, are always going to talk.
And then how do you describe just the communication between Jaden and the receivers on the field?
Seems pretty good to me in regards to we don't have many mental mistakes. He does a very good job of, if we're at the line of scrimmage, and going no huddle, he does a great job communicating what he wants. If we're huddling, he's done a great job of getting them all up in the huddle and breaking the huddle pretty quickly. As I said on Saturday evening, the one false start, or I should say illegal formation when we were down 15-10 and we hit that Dorian Singer over the middle, which would have been a 1st down on the 36-yard line, that was on me. And other than that, I think he's done a good job there with the receivers and continuing to build that relationship up, knowing that he's only played with them for 2 games as well.
Jedd, what's behind the elusiveness we're seeing with Michael Locke? It just seems like this year there's a different ability for him to bring it.
Yeah. First, I'd give credit to our strength program. I think I know he's gotten a lot stronger in the offseason, and he's gotten a lot faster in the offseason. I also think that Coach Graham is feeling more and more comfortable in his 2nd year of coaching, that he's done a great job of really getting Michael to feel using the stiff arm more. I think you've noticed that. He's certainly running more powerfully. He's able to stick his foot in the ground and stay inbounds rather than, that first run, that 34-yard run, as well as the screen, were both great balance. And he's working really hard at that. So, credit to Coach Graham and Coach Owens on really making sure that, he gets stronger every day.
Is there any update on TSA?
Not at this point. Right now, he's going to probably take it all the way to game time. And like we had to do last Saturday, work him out, 2 hours prior to make a decision on whether he can play.
What did you think of the block that caused that injury? Is that a legal play? Is that an ethical play?
I think it is a legal play. And, as long as you get cut within the tackle box, you can do that. And I've certainly coached that for a lot of years. So, I'm not going to comment on that.
Jacob, I don't think he had any drops in all of training camp this night, the other night, 2 or 3. Was he pressing a little bit?
I think that, there was a couple of the drops were unfortunate timing, and I don't know necessarily why the ball, he doesn't drop the ball. I don't worry about Jacob dropping the ball. So we just have to move past it and, chalk it up as an anomaly.
On the defensive side of the ball, you guys have already had 5 turnovers this season compared to last year's 6. Can you just talk about the job that Manson's done, figuring out the rest?
Yeah, a huge point of emphasis was made, as you guys all know, has been taking the ball away. we have to protect the ball better as well on offense. We're unfortunately, we've taken away 5 times and given it away 5 times. But defensively, our players have done a great job embracing the mentality that Coach Nansen and the defensive staff have put in, really through our culture and through our rules and through our football goals of attack and protect the ball. And they've done a great job of attacking the ball at every moment. There's times that we look to try to get the ball out that we haven't, but you could see great strip attempts and opportunities there. So we're going to continue to emphasize that and hopefully continue to take the ball away.
I think as soon as the play's over, they are sprinting over to the sidelines with the turnover sword. What do you think about that whole?
Yeah, I think it's fun. You know, I guess whatever it started, 4 years ago, maybe with the turnover chain, and then turned into the turnover throne, and then the turnover crown, and it's a fun gimmick that it seems as if a lot of teams have started to incorporate. I appreciate that our guys find something to get excited about. And it's a way for them to celebrate with the fans and celebrate with themselves. And I think it's fun, and it seems to have worked so far. So hopefully we can continue that tradition of getting the ball away. It's a big part of it.
Yeah, frankly, there haven't been a lot of teams that have been willing to attack Christian football the way you saw in this past game. I think you can the way we get some losses, but it just doesn't get a lot of action from teams who got a lot of action.
I thought he did very well. You know, there's going to be plays that are made always in a situation where, you know, you're going against a really good receiver, probably a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback, someone that certainly people are talking about in that conversation. He's going to challenge you. He's going to put the ball in a great location. There's the back shoulder throw. There's the over-the-top throw. There's the comeback. And when you go against a team like Mississippi State, who's probably, I think, ranked #1 nationally throwing the ball, you're going to have some challenges. I thought he did a very nice job.
Jay, when you look at the film you're talking about, Jay having to extend plays of pressure, how much credit do you give Mississippi State's defense, their defensive backfield coverage?
I always give the credit to them, and they did a great job. Mississippi State's a very good defense. And we had opportunities. Jaden extended plays and found guys. Jaden extended plays and probably could have ran or thrown it away, and then we wouldn't be having much of a conversation about the turnovers, because really the only one that occurred, let's call it by the football gods, was a tip ball on the defensive end that tipped the ball up, and that's just the way it works sometimes. The other two were scramble plays that I think if he looked back on them both, he would throw the ball away on one of them and run on the other. And the one to the T-Mac on the sideline, he could have easily scrambled ahead for 8 or 9 yards, and we would have been right there on the 28-yard line again. And then the one on the second down and 19, where it was like the longest play of all time. That one just throw it away and live another down.
What does you like when you're watching him run like that? What's your reaction to the sidelines? You don't get to see like.
Sometimes it's a no, yes, and sometimes it's a yes, no, and it's everything in between, right? You're seeing. There's times that he goes out there and scrambles, and we're backed up on 3rd and 10 on the 6-yard line, and he's in the middle of the end zone, and they bring the corner cat, and he spins around and makes a play and converts a 16-yard gain. So, you live with those plays because of the fact that he's so gifted as an athlete. It's our job to continue to help him play within the parameters of the system and help him understand, like, there's times you don't have to do that. There's times you can just hit a guy in rhythm. You don't have to worry about skipping the first or second read. And then there's also times that you can use your legs to your advantage. You're a 200-pound guy that's fast, so take advantage of that as well.
Your defense has allowed us one play of 20-plus yards so far this season. What does that say to you, and long-term, what might that mean for the kind of defense you do?
Well, I love it, first of all, because explosive plays, really outside of, let's call it, score differential and turnovers, is one of the biggest points of winning and losing. is explosive play differential. And if our defense can continue to play with keeping everything in front of them, rallying and tackling, it shows me that we're playing great team defense. And our goal has been to have 11 guys swarm the ball at every opportunity, and that's what kind of prevents the explosive plays from occurring. So our players, our coaches have certainly bought into that part of our culture and that part of our football goals.